10th. Mateus Laced 11th. Graham Rahal is 12th. Max Chilton is 13th. Charlie Kimball 14th. James Hinchcliffe 15th. Marco Andretti is 16th. 17th, Joseph Newgarden. 18th, Takuma Sato. 19th, Jordan King. 20th, Gabby Chavez. And Tito Ferrucci 1 lap down in 21st. Renee Binder 2 laps down in 22nd. 23rd, Spencer Pigot. Suspension problems after contact climbing out of his race car. We hope to hear from him momentarily. Okay, Anders, update us on the pit strategy, the difference between the 2 stoppers and the 3 stoppers in terms of where they're running now.
Well, while Robert Wickens and Ryan Hunter-Reay are out in the lead at the moment, the downside for them is the fact that Alexander Rossi, who's on a 2-stopper, is only 5.3 seconds back from them and doing lap times a half a second a lap quicker. So that means he's going to catch up to them, and the 3-stopper will not help them. The only way the 3-stopper is going to work out for these drivers is if they go significantly quicker than Alexander Rossi and are able to expand upon their lead. They're not able to do that. So the 3-stopper at the moment for Robert Wickens and Ryan Hunter-Reay only good enough for podium contention, certainly not for the win at the moment.
The day is done for Spencer Pigot, Dave First.
Standing next to me here on pit road, not the way you wanted to watch the rest of this race. What happened when you spun earlier?
It wasn't just a spin. I got hit from behind by Ferrucci. You know, unfortunately, it banged wheels, and then he just kind of punted me in turn 5. So it's unfortunate to end the race that way. You know, our Fuzzy's Vodka Chevy was strong yesterday, and I think we're looking forward to today's race. But you know, it's just unfortunate when guys like that come into the series and they don't really respect the fact that all of us are out here racing every weekend for the championship, and they do silly things like that.
Sorry to see you're out. We'll see you in Texas. That's Spencer Pigot, guys.
Spencer Pigot with a top 10 finish yesterday. How about an update on Gabby Chavez? He finished 18th yesterday. It's been a struggle for him today, Ryan Marine.
And the struggle gets just a little bit more difficult. He had an unscheduled pit stop a few moments ago. He was afraid he might have had a right rear tire going down after going through the debris field caused by Santino Ferrucci's incident. As it turns out, he did not. The only silver lining is the team believes he can make it to the end in one more stop. So not too far behind on strategy, but a lot of ground to make up on track.
We are looking back at the pack, and we are seeing a pretty good battle develop, and it's the one we saw a little earlier. Although Nick Yeoman, the position falls back a little bit. We're talking about the battle for 6. Will Power, Ed Jones, Bourdais, Scott Dixon, all of those guys there as they start to head toward turn number 7.
Yeah, those drivers have kind of been like magnets here over the last 15 to 20 laps as Power leads that train through the right-hander of turn 7. Then they bend those cars up and over the blue and white curving in turn 7. It's Jones chasing after Power, Bourdais chasing after Jones.
What do you make of Hunter-Reay and Wickens, first and second place running? Ryan just can't get any closer than 3 or 4 car lengths.
Yeah, he can't, and it's a shame because I'm pretty certain he's quite a bit quicker than the car of Robert Wickens at the moment, but just can't find a way past, and that's obviously holding him up greatly because Alexander Rossi has almost caught up to them. Alexander Rossi on that last lap, 1:17.0, and Robert Wickens and 1:18.0, so he's caught him by a full second.
Here they come, Jake Query, the battle between Wickens and Hunter-Reay to turn 6.
Boy, it's a battle that's heating up because that DHL machine all over that cherry red accented Lucas Oil machine of Robert Wickens. Ryan Hunter-Reay trying to get him out of turn number 6.
And of course looking for a strong charge down the back straightaway. He has it, but not close enough. He'll close it within a car length. Both of those drivers heavy on the accelerator through turn number 7 and turn number 8. And Mark Janes, that battle may dissipate here momentarily.
Alexander Rossi is certainly drawing a bead on them, but I think Robert Wickens sees that pit window for him, and this 3-stop strategy start to open up. Wickens works his way off of turn number 12, sets up for turn 13. We'll see if he decides to peel off and head to pit road. Ryan Hunter-Reay roars past Robert Wickens in that Lucas Oil machine. He woes it up. He starts to make that long haul down pit road off an 8th place finish yesterday. Robert Wickens comes to pit road, and Michael Young is there.
Pierce Phillips calls the shots for Robert Wickens. Was going to leave him out for 5 or 6 laps, and I think Anders hit the nail on the head with Alexander Rossi coming. They wanted to bring him in sooner than later. They took a full round out of that front wing. 4 new Firestone Blacks on that car.
So let folks know. You hear Michael say full round out of that front wing, and to tell the layperson what they're looking looking to do?
Well, basically, what the issue is he's having is that the rear is sliding around a bit too much, so they've reduced some front downforce to try and just settle the rear end down a little bit. So it's a very, very quick change to do, and it'll help him quite a bit here. Certainly if he feels like the balance is a bit too loose. So, and exactly to Michael Young's point, now is Robert Wickens' chance to absolutely bang in some super quick laps here, because otherwise he's going to fall victim of this three-stop strategy, with Ryan Hunter-Reay having rolled the dice on that as well.
The lead is 2.2 seconds for Ryan Hunter-Reay. Let's get an update on his plans from Dave First.
Yeah, to that point, Ray Gosselin just got on the radio and told Ryan Hunter-Reay, buddy, you got to set sail right now. And if this three-stop strategy is going to work, he's got to start getting lap times around 1:16 or so. Felt he was held up by Robert Wickens. Let's keep a close eye on these lap times to see if Ryan Hunter-Reay is able to do just that. Also, as they say that, Tony Kanaan now making his second stop. Pitting now from third. TK upset in qualifying. He was penalized after he brought out the red flag. Not so much about his starting position today, but the fact that today's qualifying sets up the pit stalls for Texas next week. Because he's starting in the back, he's going to have the next to last pit stop at Texas Motor Speedway.
And held up indeed was Ryan Hunter-Reay. He now went 0.2 quicker than Alexander Rossi on that last lap. So clearly held up pretty big time there for Robert Wickens. But still, strategy-wise for Ryan Hunter-Reay, this is nowhere near what he needs in order to be able to overtake Alexander Rossi via pit strategy. So Alexander Rossi at the moment is certainly sitting in the catbird seat. And take this into consideration. Alexander Rossi currently 13 seconds up the road from Will Power, who's the next driver on the same strategy. So huge gap, all things being equal here in Detroit for Rossi.
Ryan Hunter-Reay said yesterday after finishing second that he was running qualifying laps all day long, and it was exhausting. So is he doing the same thing based upon what he was told by the crew today?
Exactly the same thing, and that's basically what you commit yourself to. As we see Simon Pagenaud now taking the pit lane, that's what you commit yourself to by going to a three-stopper. You commit yourself to doing qualifying lap after qualifying lap, whereas on a two-stopper you have to save quite a bit of fuel.
Dave First has an update on Marco Andretti.
Very quickly, Marco Andretti going from a two-stopper. They just changed their mind to a three-stopper. He was stuck in traffic, couldn't go anywhere, so they went ahead and brought him in. Michael Young.
Simon Pagenaud in for his second stop of the afternoon. Good stop for them as they go to the Firestone Blacks. 6.9 seconds for Pagenaud.
Implications of going from a two-stop to a three-stop.
Well, the problem with that is you've now saved a bunch of fuel, and you've kind of planned your whole race and pace around doing a two-stopper, and suddenly you're like, oh man, I could have gone a lot quicker because we're now going to a three-stopper, so that's not ideal there, but certainly understand from a track position perspective, when you're held up, you really have to change things up.
31 of 70 laps completed. Ryan Hunter-Reay, your leader here at Belle Isle.
I think we're going to need some music for this, because this is big. There are other unlimited data plans out there, but none have lived up to the name. Till now. Unlimited gets the network it deserves. And so do you. Verizon. We're doing unlimited the Verizon way, without compromising reliability on the largest, most advanced 4G LTE network in America. And if you only knew the unbelievably great price, well, I'll just tell you. Just $45 per line for 4 lines, with HD video included. Not just unlimited, Verizon Unlimited. Plus taxes and fees, paper-free billing required. After 22 gigabytes per line per month, we may prioritize your data behind other Verizon customers during network congestion. Mobile hotspot and tethering reduced to 3G speeds after 10 gigabytes per month. See vzw.com for details.
From the streets of Belle Isle, this is the Advance Auto Parts IndyCar Radio Network.
What's it like to drive an Indy car at the famed Indianapolis Motor Speedway? Now the Indy Racing Experience can put you in the driver's seat. That's right, you can drive an Indy car at the world's greatest race course. Packages start at under $500. But hurry, sessions are selling out fast. Call 888-357-5002 or go online to IndyRacingExperience.com. You driving a real Indy car. Call 888-357-5002 now.
Right now, 115,000 people are waiting for a life-saving transplant. 22 of those waiting die each day because their life-saving organ did not make it in time. I race to end the wait. I race to save lives, just like my older brother, IndyCar driver Justin Wilson. Justin saved 5 lives as an organ donor. I'm Stephen Wilson, driver of the number 25 Driven to Save Lives Andretti Autosport Honda. Be a hero. Save a life. Register your donation decision at driventosavelives.org.
From the Firestone broadcast booth at Belle Isle, this is the Verizon IndyCar Series.
An update from pit road from Brian Marine.
Zach Veach, one of the runners on the 3-stop strategy, just made his second stop, 9 seconds. Problems getting the fuel nozzle disengaged for Zach, but he's back out there. He had been running in the 9th position when he came to pit road.
Tumbled to 18th as a result, Anders.
And the problem here for Ryan Hunter-Reay as he's coming into pit lane is the fact that he's only about 21 seconds ahead of Scott Dixon, so that means when he comes back out, he's going to be right behind the car of Scott Dixon, Sebastian Bourdais, and Ed Jones, and that's going to hold him up.
Dave first, Ryan Hunter-Reay to pit road.
Couple of second-place finishes here in Detroit for Ryan Hunter-Reay, hoping to do one better here this afternoon. They'll go to the sticker blacks. No wing adjustment there. Ryan Hunter-Reay down and away in 10 seconds.
So 34 laps complete when Ryan Hunter-Reay comes to pit road, and as we cycle through, that's going to move Alexander Rossi back to P1 with a rather hefty lead, Anders.
It's a ginormous lead, 14 seconds to willpower. I mean, just a huge lead here for Alexander Rossi, and frankly, all he needs to do at this point in time is make sure to hit all his marks here.
So it's Rossi, Hunter-Reay, Willpower, Jones, and Bourdais, your top 5. Jordan King comes to pit road. Michael Young is there.
Now, the last stop that he had was horrendous. They had a huge problem with that front left tire. Let's see how the crew does this time. Dropped it back to the 20th position. No problems thus far. Looks like a good stop. Little problem with that right rear, but tons better for Jordan King.
Yep, Jordan King is trying to crack the top 15. He's been running around 15th to 17th on most of this day. Been a struggle for him most assuredly. So Rossi with a lead of 13.4 seconds over Hunter-Reay. The Willpower is running just a couple of seconds behind Ryan Hunter-Reay. But Jones, Bourdais, Dixon, those guys don't seem to be able to gain much in the way of separation from one another. That is the battle for third. Now we see the timing and scoring loop, and we see Hunter-Reay continue to tumble. Looks like Ryan Hunter-Reay, Anders, when all is said and done, is going to cycle back into the top 10.
Yeah, he is indeed. He's sitting 6th right now, but the issue he's going to have is the fact that Scott Dixon, Sebastian Bourdais, and Ed Jones are all just up the road from him. So even if he went significantly quicker now, and he needs to because he is on that 3-stop strategy, he's going to get to a point where he's just going to be banging up against the gearbox of Scott Dixon here. So I think it's a bit of a difficult thing there, and Ryan Hunter-Reay is going to want to say what ifs and buts, because had he not been held up by Robert Wickens, he could have arguably come out ahead of that group, and that would have put him in a very, very good position.
Ryan Hunter-Reay is heading toward turn number 7, Nick Yeoman. Pretty comfortable advantage over Graham Rahal.
Yeah, it's a couple car lengths over the American Graham Rahal. Both those drivers actually Americans as they make their way around turn 8 and snake their way through turn number 9. Then about another 8 or 10 car lengths back to the Canadian Robert Wickens.
We're hearing Michael Young. We're starting to get the idea that in a handful of laps we can see the leader Alexander Rossi coming back to pit road.
Indeed, they just got the call. Rob Edwards talked to Alexander Rossi, just asked if he wanted a wing adjustment. He said yes, let's add some more front wing to the car. Wasn't able to make out whether it was a half turn or a full. In any case, 10 laps the call for Alexander Rossi.
36 of 70 laps complete. The full field rundown. Rossi, your leader. Willpower is 2nd, and Jones is 3rd. Bourdais is 4th. Dixon is 5th. Ryan Hunter-Reay is 6th. 7th to Rahal. 8th to Wickens. 9th to Laced. And 10th to Max Chilton. And as we speak, there's been a change for position as Scott Dixon was able to work his way around Sebastian Bourdais. Jake Query, they're in front of you in turn 6.
Sebastian Bourdais is right on the heels of Scott Dixon. Then it's Hunter-Reay and Rahal. But let's take a look back. That Sealmaster machine of Sebastian Bourdais trying to make him a spot on Scott Dixon.
Yeah, Bourdais going to close within 3 car lengths up to the rear wing of Scott Dixon. But the guy to watch in that train, Mark James, might be Ryan Hunter-Reay on those fresher tires as he closes up on Bourdais and Dixon in turn 8.
Before we finish that full field rundown, let's head to pit road. Check in with Dave first.
Kara Adams, the chief engineer for Bridgestone America's Motorsports. Once again today, reds, blacks playing a big factor in this race here.
Yeah, clearly the blacks again are the Firestone tire of choice today. You see a lot of people switching off of it. Everything looks to be good as far as tire wear in the pits.
And this morning in qualifying, we got to use the new rain tires. How about that? What did you guys learn in that session this morning?
Yeah, we learned a lot about the new pattern. The new pattern seems to be working well.
Trouble on the race course.
Sebastian Bourdais has fun coming off of turn number 1. Luckily, he didn't hit anything. Spun through the dirt, and he's back underway. He was involved in a battle with Ryan Hunter-Reay.
Yeah, and he lost it completely by himself, and now looks like that car is crabbing, coming down towards turn 3. So lucky not to hit anything there for Sebastian Bourdais. But yeah, he was just chasing so hard, trying to keep off the pressure from Ryan Hunter-Reay, and just looped it around.
Dirtied up the tires, lost a couple of positions. Don't know if there's any damage. We will see. Dave, give Kara our apologies. We'll head back to you.
I just want to button up the conversation from this morning, the qualifying session in the wet. A new look at those brand new treaded tires. They seem to be spectacular.
Yeah, they were really good. We actually saw the water spraying outside the tire, which is one of the things that we had designed. The pattern looked good, so we got feedback from everybody, so we'll take that back to Ecker and do a lot of analysis.
It's beautiful when things, in theory, actually work out on the racetrack, right?
Yeah, absolutely. To be able to prove out that Bridgestone Firestone science is fantastic.
See you in Texas.
All right, thanks, Dave.
Kara Adams, the chief engineer of Bridgestone Americas Motorsports.
Might have spoken too soon about the issue for Sebastian Bourdais. He did not take the normal line, Nick Yeoman, through turn number 7. Matter of fact, he went inside the curbing, so traffic didn't hit him, and he's still struggling on the race course.
Yeah, there was a mess of cars that had to stay to the outside of the corner, and Sebastian Bourdais did the smart thing to stay out of the line, but you're right, he was then moving left, right, trying to stay out of the traffic that was much faster.
And he's coming to the attention of his pit crew, and Michael Young will take a peek.
Yeah, the car's not crab walking like it had when he officially, first made that spin down there in turn number 1. The crew goes to work. He didn't initially want to go in, and now there is problems with the left rear. Yes, indeed, the suspension, the tie rod is bent on the left rear side of that car, so they've got a lot of damage here. They're going to have to go to work on that, guys.
This is going to be a huge speculation, but really there's no way for that to bend unless you have contact with something. So what I'm wondering is, exiting the final corner, maybe he just nicked a little bit of that concrete barrier, because as violently as this car turned around on Sebastian Bourdais, I don't think that was a driver error in the middle of the corner, and frankly, that's not a typical spot to where you lose the rear end of the car. So I'm almost wondering if he just snagged the wall a little bit coming off turn 13, that would have been enough to just bend that tie rod enough to where when he turned into turn 1, that the rear would snap around, because otherwise I don't think that would happen that violently.
A follow-up from Michael Young.
That's actually the lower A-arm is what's bent on it. I thought it was the tie rod in there, Anders, so that'll answer your question. They are taking the entire rear assembly off the left rear of that car, so it's going to be a costly stop. What potentially could have been a good afternoon for Sebastian Bourdais. Remember, he had a problem with the cut tire on the opening laps of this race, but this will totally put him out of contention today.
Coming up on 40 laps complete, Alexander Rossi, your leader. Will Power is second, Ed Jones third, Dixon is fourth, Hunter-Reay is fifth, Rahal is sixth, Wickens seventh, Max Chilton is eighth, Charlie Kimball is ninth, Tony Kanaan is 10th, 11th to Mateus Lace, 12th to James Hinchcliffe, 13th Joseph Newgarden, 14th to Kumasato. Pagano is 15th, Veach 16th, Andretti 17th. Bourdais tumbles to at least 18th, down 19th in fact. Gabby Chavez 20th. Ferrucci is 21st. Bender 4 laps down in 22nd. Spencer Pigot out of the race. He'll finish no better than 23rd. We've had one caution for 3 laps. 3 leaders, 3 lead changes. Alexander Rossi has led 29 laps today. Charlie Kimball is plus 12. Tony Kanaan plus 12. Max Chilton plus 9 here at Belle Isle.
Alexa, play IndyCar Radio.
I just saved hundreds of dollars by switching to Geico. I feel like a whole new person.
Disclaimer, you will not become a whole new person. This is impossible. You might be able to join a gym or diet program, buy a new wardrobe, get hair implants, but your DNA and physical form will remain the same. Geico waives any and all liability if you attempt to become a new person, except a cyborg. If you choose to become a half-human, half-cybernetic organism with lasers for eyes, the Geico legal team would be cool with that, because, quote, laser eyes are pretty sweet. Pew, 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 end quote.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
From the streets of Belle Isle, this is the Advance Auto Parts IndyCar Radio Network.
Ever wonder how the credit card companies make their money? Well, think about this. If you owe $25,000, on 5 different credit cards, and you make your minimum payments every month, here's what it's going to cost you. Are you sitting down? You'll shell out over $13,000 in additional interest, and it's going to take over 13 years to pay off your original $25,000 balance. That's how they make money. Now it's your turn to fight back by calling the Debt Solutions Network. We'll work on your behalf to reduce your debt. We specialize in credit cards, retail store cards, and medical bills. We promise we can and will reduce your debt. Call right now for a free 15-minute debt analysis. 800-709-4392. 800-709-4392. 800-709-4392. 800-709-4392.
From the Firestone broadcast booth at Belle Isle, this is the Verizon IndyCar Series.
This is Inside the Paddock, presented by Advanced Auto Parts, and joining me here in Detroit is Dave Faustino, the Indy 500 race-winning engineer for Will Power. First things first, your guy's been involved with the sport for a long time. How rewarding was that victory 1 week ago?
Oh, pretty rewarding. I mean, yeah, obviously, massively rewarding. I mean, we've been trying to win that race for 10, 11 years here, and, always eluded the big ones there. So, to have him win that, I think it really does help complete his resume. And, when you're at Penske Racing, you're kind of expected to win an Indy 500 when you're there that long. So it really helps to sort of complete what really should be done at Penske Racing, honestly.
Shifting gears, coming to Detroit, how tough is it to set up a car for a bumpy street course like this with a pair of race this weekend?
Yeah, it is very tough. This is probably one of the most difficult tracks that we go to in terms of that, because it's so slippery. The concrete changes all the time. And I think you could take so many approaches here because the cars do everything. And so, it's kind of like, what do you want to fix and what do you think will make the car fast? Because it's just bad in all ways. Historically, we've struggled a little bit here in qualifying, but raced well, so we're really working on trying to be better at qualifying here.
Advanced Auto Parts, let's get you back on the road.
Okay, Anders Krohn with 42 of 70 laps complete did not bring out a caution, but we did have a single car incident involving Sebastian Bourdais. As a result, he spent plenty of time on pit road.
Yeah, he did indeed, and it was indeed a tie rod there. We still haven't got an explanation as to exactly what happened there, according to Michael Young, saying that there were no scuff marks or anything on the left rear tire of Sebastian Bourdais. So sounds like a bit of a freak incident. Usually the tie rods will never bend unless you have contact with another car or the wall. So that is certainly an interesting thing. What I'm paying attention to now, though, is the fact that Will Power has shrunk that advantage that Alexander Rossi had early on, all the way down from 14 seconds to 8.1, and he is going way faster. 7/10 on that last lap. He's catching Alexander Rossi in a hurry, as these cars probably only have another 2-3 laps before they're going to come in for their final stop.
At 19th place running, Gabby Chavez did the gentlemanly thing. Rossi caught him at a very difficult portion of the course to attempt to pass, but Gabby moved over and let him make a clean move.
Yeah, and excepting Simon Pagenaud, I think everyone else on the grid actually feel that Gabby Chavez is pretty good at getting out of the way if he absolutely has to. Not the run there that Harding Racing wanted today, but certainly they just want to get through this weekend cleanly and get to Texas, where they finished 5th last year.
We are looking at Zach Veach back in the field. He's engaged in a pretty good battle with Takuma Sato. That is the battle for 15th. Sato has had a long day. Had pretty good pace throughout part of the weekend. But all in all, Takuma Sato, this is going to be one that he's going to want to forget here in Belle Isle.
Yeah, it's just been a tricky one altogether for him. I mean, shown some flashes of speed, but certainly not been able to put anything together. And now, the same goes for really Rahal, Letterman, Lanigan Racing after that dominant double win last year for Graham Rahal, and just how strong he looked in practice. I think they're both going to come out of this weekend very, very disappointed, because I know they were expecting this to be their big weekend at getting some championship points back to get them back in the championship chase, and instead it's been Scott Dixon and Alexander Rossi who have dominated.
Sato was able to use the pit strategy for a 5th place finish yesterday, but the car didn't perform well in that wet qualifying this morning at the start team of the field.
Yeah, exactly. Just saying that he didn't have any grip whatsoever, and certainly around a place like this, that's a very, very difficult situation. And Ryan Hunter-Reay now, the only driver in the top here on that 3-stop strategy, sitting 5th right now, right on the back bumper, or gearbox rather, no bumpers of course anymore, of Scott Dixon and then Ed Jones as well. So I think Ryan Hunter-Reay here, as soon as the top 3 start pitting, he should be able to get his way back up onto the podium, but still don't think he's got a shot at matching anything that Alexander Rossi is doing. Finally made the repairs that they needed to the car of Sebastian Bourdais. That allows him to return to the fray. We're watching the battle for 11th, Nick Yeoman. It's coming to you. It's Matthias Lace to James Hinchcliffe.
Whoa, and right ahead of them, we just about had a Penske party mess as Simon Pagenaud nearly ran to the back of Joseph Newgarden. He made that pass. That stacked up the field with Takuma Sato and Zach Veach as well, but there was very nearly contact as they bend their way down the backstretch.
And that battle for 4th continues to heat up a bit, Jake Query. It's Scott Dixon and Ryan Hunter-Reay. It works its way toward turn number 6.
Two guys that have to feel like they've not been able to get away from each other at all today. Scott Dixon in that PNC machine has himself about a 12-foot advantage over Ryan Hunter-Reay. When they exit turn 6, Hunter-Reay went a little bit more in the arc, trying to get to the outside of Dixon, but not able to make the move.
And Ryan Hunter-Reay, certainly one of the faster cars here in this later portion of the race. On that different strategy, he's got the tire advantage. As Dixon's Firestones fall off a little bit, Hunter-Reay's may be clicking, and as they race their way around the fountain, he's close within 4 car lengths.
A pretty sizable piece of debris at the exit of turn number 2. We'll keep an eye on that. Dave, first you see activity picking up on pit road.
Things are definitely picking up. Scott Dixon, Graham Rahal, Ed Jones among those laid out. Alexander Rossi also making his way on pit road.
Michael Young is there.
Our leader comes in an 8-second advantage. They'll go to work on the car. They talked about putting some front wing on that car. Let's see what they do. Will Power just went by as well. A full turn and a half for Alexander Rossi. His final stop. Now we look at Will Power. Again, that 8-second advantage for Power. Good stop for the Will Power gang. They got him down and away. Look, great stop. 7.8 seconds for Will Power.
To Ryan Marine.
It was a quick stop for Scott Dixon, but the crew had to hold him as Graham Rahal came into the stall right in front of him. So Dixon definitely held up as he made his final pit stop.
Day first.
Graham Rahal with the nice stop. Remember, he's in the backup car. Crashed the primary in yesterday's race. Lengthy stop, though, for Ed Jones. Uncharacteristic of chicken ass these guys. That was a 10-second stop as they waited to top it off with Sunoco fuel.
That's such an agonizing feeling. They're just sitting there. But now, look at who is back out in front. Ryan Hunter-Reay with a 5.1 second advantage over Alexander Rossi. And really now he needs to drive the drive of his life. I think he's going to have a shot at being on the podium, but it's going to be oh so difficult to do anything with Alexander Rossi and Robert Wickens.
Nick Yeoman, how about Ed Jones and Scott Dixon? That's a battle in front of you.
Yep, Jones had that slow pit stop, and that means he's fallen a little bit back into the pack and fallen into the grasp of Scott Dixon. Dixon all over the rear wing as they race around the fountain.
We've been watching James Hinchcliffe in a battle. Michael Young, we've been watching Robert Wickens trying to work his way back up to the front. Let's get an update on their pit strategy.
Couple of great stops there, not only for James Hinchcliffe, but for the machine of Joseph Newgarden. Both of them came in at the same time. We expect Robert Wickens in right now as he makes his way down pit lane. Robert Wickens for the final time this afternoon. He hits his marks as he comes to the attention of that Lucas Oil Racing crew for Schmidt Peterson Motorsports. Crew goes to work on all 4 Firestone Blacks. Great stop, waiting for the fuel. Ooh, a little problem with the left rear. They might not have got it on. Robert Wickens down and away.
And that was oh so close there, but it does look like that has been attached. Ryan Hunter-Reay goes by. He flies by. No pressure whatsoever. But now Marco Andretti looking at the back end here of Robert Wickens, and he's going to outdo him on the brakes. And this is disastrous for the race plans here for Robert Wickens as he completely loses contact with Ryan Hunter-Reay.
Zach Veach is running just in front of them. Marco Andretti has the 11th position. So, Jake Query, let's give us an update. Your visual, Marco Andretti, Robert Wickens as they head toward you.
Matter of fact, Robert Wickens got a little bit loose entering turn number 6. That allowed that combo of Beach and as well Marco Andretti, Mark, to get themselves a little bit of distance from him.
So now let's give people again a sense of where we are in terms of this fuel strategy, what this means for Ryan Hunter-Reay, Rossi, Power, Wickens, Kanaan.
And of course, what I meant to say is that that was not Ryan Hunter-Reay that went by Robert Wickens. That was Zach Veach. So Ryan Hunter-Reay is the only driver to really make this three-stop really work for him. And the lead that he's currently got on Alexander Rossi, he's extended that to a 15.4-second lead. How in the world have you done that, Ryan Hunter-Reay? And he really needs to get that up to 22 seconds. That is the magic number. That should enable him to come into pit lane for his final stop, make his pit stop, and then come back out in the lead. So he needs to just do qualifying lap after qualifying lap here.
Simon Pagenaud trying to bust through to the top 10. Michael Youngie comes to pit road in 11th place.
Not a usual day for Simon Pagenaud, struggling. 4 new Firestone black tires on that, about 7.5 seconds for the final stop for Simon Pagenaud.
Dixon still can't do anything with Ed Jones, Nick Yeoman. They come to turn 7.
No, those Ganassi teammates want to nose to tail. They bend those cars to the right-hander of turn 7. Now Jones sets up for turn 8. Dixon, super aggressive, puts the left sides on the blue and white curbing. Now they race around the mountain. A couple car lengths separating those two.
Ed Jones finished 6th yesterday. He's in the top 5 right now. Been a pretty good weekend for him.
And I'm now seeing the Ed Jones that I saw last year, the one that burst onto the scene with such consistent finishes, then ran to that top 3 finish in the Indy 500, and now we're seeing that Ed Jones again. I wonder if the first part of the season Ed was just pushing a little bit too hard, wanting to prove himself for Chip Ganassi and that entire team.
Tony Kanaan is coming to pit road. Dave First will have his stuff.
Third and final stop for the Brazilian, making his 351st start. Boy, they had a lot of issues on that left rear tire before finally getting it down and away. A 9-second stop that time for Tony Kanaan.
Let's get an observation from Jay Query in turn 6.
Yeah, I don't know if Robert Wickens has a problem or not, but the last 2 times by now, he's getting ready to come into view, and I can perhaps give it a better assessment. But 2 laps ago when he came into 6, he clearly bobbled just a little bit. Then the last time by, right in the crown of turn number 6, it appeared as though Robert Wickens maybe perhaps missed a shift, but just was a little bit off the throttle. That Lucas Oil machine just went by. Looks good now, but it seems as though Wickens might have lost a little horsepower and as well a little bit of distance with that pack he'd been running with.
Watching Dixon continue to stalk Ed Jones. That's the battle for 4th. Ryan Hunter-Reay, your leader, 15.9 seconds over Alexander Rossi. 20 laps to go. 50 of 70 complete here at Belle Isle.
Firestone presents Legendary Drives. It was the 1969 Indy 500 when Mario Andretti's crew couldn't get his right rear tire off. He had no choice but to drive on it the whole race, still finishing with a checkered flag and a drink of milk. Now that's legendary. And if Firestone tires are so dependable they can take Mario 500 grueling IndyCar miles, just imagine how far they'll take you. Whatever you drive, drive a Firestone, the tire that drives IndyCar legends.
This is NHRA Funny Car driver Courtney Force. Time to head to Advance Auto Parts for low prices and tons of free services. We offer free battery, starter, and alternator testing and free battery installation with purchase. Plus, Speed Perks members earn up to $20 in rewards. Don't miss out. Visit an Advance or participating CarQuest Auto Parts store near you today. Advance Auto Parts. Let's get you back on the road.
From the streets of Belle Isle, this is the Advance Auto Parts IndyCar Radio Network.
Dish TV is better than cable TV. Why? Because you can save 45% on packages compared to your high-priced cable bill. Wow. Take those giant scissors out and cut the cable and save with Dish TV. Plus, you get a free DVR upgrade to record your favorite shows and free installation. And with Dish Anywhere, you can watch TV for free on your mobile device. Act fast. You can save hundreds of dollars. Does your cable company do that for you? I don't think so. Get all the best TV programming at your fingertips at a fraction of the price of cable TV. So say adios, arrivederci, goodbye to the high cable bill and save up to 45% on Dish TV packages today. These are limited time offers and can change at any time. Call fast. 800-557-7920. 800-557-7920. 800-557-7920. That's 800-557-7920.
From the Firestone broadcast booth at Belle Isle, this is the Verizon IndyCar Series.
Today first, Ryan Hunter-Reay is in.
Final stop for Ryan Hunter-Reay, and it's a good one. 7 seconds for the DHL guys as he sets sail now towards the front.
Yeah, but still Alexander Rossi is going to be able to overtake him. Alexander Rossi has already gone by, and the key to this now is the fact that the only thing separating Ryan Hunter-Reay from Alexander Rossi is the car of Jordan King, and that's the lap car, so hopefully he moves out of the way quickly, and this could be a great battle to the end of the race. Now, keep in mind, Ryan Hunter-Reay now with tires some 6 laps fresher than that of Alexander Rossi, and also 6 laps more fuel, which means he can run full rich, essentially, all the way to the end of the race.
So Alexander Rossi with the advantage over Ryan Hunter-Reay as the laps continue to wind down. 18 laps to go. They did all they could do really with a 3-stop strategy.
They did indeed, and he could end up coming short yet again, Ryan Hunter-Reay, but just keep in mind he started from the mid-pack in both races, so certainly making the most of that 3-stop for sure, and the pace that Ryan Hunter-Reay has shown in the races has just been incredible, and I can't emphasize enough how well he's going to sleep tonight, because the way he's been wheeling that car qualifying lap after qualifying lap is going to be so physical.
Alexander Rossi with a huge advantage now. He's opened it up to just a little over 1 second, and as we say that, they clear the timing loop, and it looks like Ryan Hunter-Reay shaved about a tenth or two off of it.
Yeah, so 7.6 seconds the advantage right now for Alexander Rossi as they come through turn 2, and again, Jordan King, the only driver between the two of them, and it's going to be a battle here for Ryan Hunter-Reay to try and catch up with 17 laps to go.
Let's hear from Michael Andretti Day first.
And helping call the shots for Ryan Hunter-Reay. A couple of nice races yesterday and today. Does Ryan have enough to catch his teammate Alexander Rossi?
It's going to be interesting. I don't know. He's really fast. It's possible.
How determined has Ryan been this weekend for you guys?
He wants to win real bad.
Wants to win real bad. We'll see if he can get it done, as they think he'll be able to close in on his teammate Alexander Rossi. By the way, in the background, you heard Marco Andretti making his final stop here this afternoon.
And while we watched all of this play out between Rossi and Hunter-Reay and the pit strategy, how about the run that the 2-time 500 winner Will Power is giving Chevrolet here on a dominant weekend for Honda? There he is, P3.
Just crazy to think how far off the pace they were, and really how Honda dominated this weekend has been. But yeah, thanks to that great qualifying and just kind of keeping it clean and putting together a great race performance for his championship. This is best case scenario here. They came into the weekend immediately after first practice knowing they were going to be off the pace, so it was going to be a matter of damage limitation, and I think they've done a great job of that.
Before Ryan Hunter-Reay can even begin to entertain thoughts of tracking down Alexander Rossi, one thing is for sure, he first has to dispatch of Jordan King, who is currently running in the 18th position. And Jake Query, from turn number 6, you see King with Ryan Hunter-Reay in tow in front of you now.
That's going to be a while, I think, before Hunter-Reay's able to close that up. Then you have, of course, Will Power. He's got the same issue. It's Renee Bender who is in front of him. Power's going to dispatch him, though, now and try to make a move.
Yeah, it really seems like Rossi's turned up the wick here in the closing laps as Hunter-Reay is certainly pushing. Then you've got Power. And then, Mark, that great battle for fourth as the Ganassi teammates continue to rage on. Ed Jones with a 1-car length advantage over Scott Dixon.
It's going to be interesting to get that debrief, because Jones and Dixon have been going at it for quite some time, and give Ed Jones all the credit in the world. I mean, he's not holding Dixon up. He's keeping pace.
During the middle of the race, Ed Jones overtook Scott Dixon and actually pulled away, so he was the stronger of the two drivers. Now, towards the tail end of the race, definitely looks like Scott Dixon has the upper hand again, and you have to wonder, with them scaling back to a 2-car team and realizing probably Ed Jones is not going to be in the thick of the championship battle, do they at some point during the course of this race tell Ed Jones to move over for Scott Dixon?
Alexander Rossi on a proverbial Sunday afternoon cruise right now. I mean, that car, you know, sometimes you can just look at a car and say, man, that car looks fast, and that car just looks fast.
And it's copy-paste taste of what we saw in Long Beach. Everything he's doing inside the car is just so controlled. You never see the car sliding out of control. Everything is just so beautifully put together. And again, kind of going back to the difference in driving style this weekend between Alexander Rossi and Scott Dixon. Alexander Rossi so much more smooth on the steering input, largely down to the fact that they have so much front grip in this car that he has to be super smooth with his inputs. But because there is so much front grip in the car, it rotates super quickly, and basically every corner here at this track is a 90-degree corner. So that means the faster your car can rotate, the faster you can get back on power, and the faster the lap time. So clearly making the most of it.
Jones and Dixon continues to be interesting, and again, that's the battle for fourth. And let's face it, when you're talking about points, and now it's about points each and every weekend, who knows, by the time you get to the end of the season, Scott Dixon wants that position because it means more points.
He definitely does. The way they run at the moment, 28 points back of Alexander Rossi in the championship for Scott Dixon. So he needs every single point he can get. And he's been part of some tiebreaker deals before and some close finishes in the championship. So it'll be interesting to see if Chip Ganassi Racing do anything towards the end of the race here.
Setting up for turn number 3, and Jones will get there first. Dixon touches the curving to the bottom side with the right side. Off of turn number 5. Jake, here comes the battle for fourth between Jones and Dixon.
And it doesn't take long for that blue machine of Ed Jones to pop into view with right behind him Scott Dixon. Front of that Dixon car is orange, back of it blue like Jones, but it's the front that is getting magnetized towards that tin machine. Scott Dixon trying to get up alongside his teammate.
Yep, you see that blue nose pop into view first underneath the Corvette bridge. Then it's the orange and blue of Scott Dixon. They close within a couple car lengths of each other. They're both trying to run down Will Power for third.
And Graham Rahal was able to get around Renee Binder as they approach turn number 7. Rahal would like to get into that battle. He's currently running 6th. But Jones and Dixon quite a bit behind him, about 3.5 seconds in fact. So Graham Rahal has some work to do. So with 13 laps to go, Alexander Rossi's lead is swollen to 6.9 seconds over Ryan Hunter-Ray. Then it's Will Power, then it's Ed Jones, then it's Scott Dixon, Graham Rahal, Robert Wickens, toting it on, Charlie Kimball, and Simon Pagino. That's your top 10. Chilton is 11th, Andretti is 12th, Beach is 13th, Laced is 14th, Newgarden 15th, Hitch is 16th, Sato 17th, King is 18th, Chavez is 19th, 2 laps down is Ferrucci in 20th, Bourdais 3 laps down in 21st, Binder is 4 laps down in 22nd, Spencer Piggott, the lone retiree, he is 23rd. What a difficult weekend it has been for Joseph Newgarden, the defending series champion. Right now, Anders, he is 15th. He finished 9th yesterday.
Yeah, just a disaster of a weekend for him. I think he really came into this weekend wanting to rebound from the 500 and not been the case at all. And the way it looks right now, this would slip him back to 4th in the championship, some 60 points behind Alexander Rossi. So he really needs to get on a winning streak here if he's to have any chance of regaining a chance at the championship.
We talked about Power. He runs 3rd, and what a great run he has had. The next Chevrolet you'll find is 8th place running Tony Kanaan.
Yeah, it is. And yet again, Will Power, just such a clean run today, and all thanks to that great qualifying position in the wet this morning. But certainly making the most of a struggle of a weekend for Chevy. Don't think that's going to be the case next weekend in Texas. If the Indianapolis Motor Speedway is any indication, then that Chevy power plant is going to come in pretty handy at the Super Speedway in Texas.
Little by little, Jake Query, but little by little, I'd say, Scott Dixon continues to draw a bead on Ed Jones. This is the battle for 4th that goes back to turn 6.
And Ed Jones starts to set up for turn number 6. He goes down to the bottom of the racetrack a little bit earlier than he did last time by. Scott Dixon, though, still not able to make up ground. He'll try to make up some speed on the straightaway.
As they snake their way underneath the Corvette bridge, Dixon closes to within a couple car lengths as both of those drivers are hard on the binders, and then back on the accelerator quickly to the left-hander of turn number 8. Dixon within 2 car lengths trying to get that 4th spot away from his teammate.
A 1:16.9 last time by for Alexander Rossi. Ryan Hunter-Ray is in the 1:15s, and slowly but surely the advantage is being drastically reduced. It was 6.9 a couple of laps to go, and Anders is now down to 3.7, the difference between Rossi and Hunter-Reay.
And Ryan Hunter-Reay doing exactly what he did on his previous lap. When he gets into the 5-lap stint sort of on the Firestone Blacks, it's like they really activate for him, and they really start getting into the surface. And now 2 seconds quicker on that last lap than Alexander Rossi, of 1:15 flat on that last lap for Ryan Hunter-Reay. He's chasing down quickly, and all the while not using a single push to pass. So Alexander Rossi over the last couple of laps has seen this happen and has burned a few push to pass just trying to protect that gap. But Ryan Hunter-Reay, man, he is flying.
Want to go back to that battle for fourth. It's between Ed Jones and Scott Dixon. They can't track down Will Power, who's running third, but all three come to Nick Yeoman in turn 7.
They're not on Power, but I think they might be inching towards him as they're all catching a lap traffic car of Jordan King. Power around the fountain first and third, then Ed Jones and Scott Dixon.
Yeah, that's a good pickup for sure. I mean, we wouldn't call it a nose-to-tail battle, but they're starting to catch Will Power little by little.
Yeah, they are indeed, but I think Will Power at this point is probably preserving the equipment to some extent and just going to let that battle play out here by Ed Jones. Let's pay attention to the lap time yet again. 1.7 seconds quicker that last lap for Ryan Hunter-Reay, and he's within 2 seconds now of Alexander Rossi. This is going to be a huge battle within the end of this lap.
Jake Query, there's no question he's getting closer. The lead is now down to 2 seconds as they head toward turn 6.
He is shaving that lead. As a matter of fact, now they are literally within the same view. Alexander Rossi, his teammate Ryan Hunter-Reay, who continues to click off very fast laps in pursuit of Alexander Rossi.
Let's give you a taste of just how close they are. Here come the front two. Yeah, it almost sounds like one car. It's about 4 or 5 car lengths, Mark Janes, as they make their way through turn number 9.
He really got a good run off of turn number 7 through 8. Now Rossi starts to pull away as they exit 9-10, but as I say that, Hunter-Reay pulls up, and that advantage is all but gone.
Yes, it is indeed, and now the question is, how aggressive are these guys going to be on their push to pass? They need to conserve them somewhat. 35 seconds remaining for Alexander Rossi, 40 seconds remaining for Ryan Hunter-Reay, so very, very difficult place to pass this, but with the pace advantage that Ryan Hunter-Reay has on Alexander Rossi, I think it's only a matter of a couple laps before he's got him.
From 2 seconds down to 0.6 of a second in one lap. Talking about the deficit between Alexander Rossi and Ryan Hunter-Reay. 9 laps to go as they set up through turn number 4. Rossi has to know he's there. Hunter-Reay drawing a beat on him now as they exit turn number 5.
Question now is Alexander Rossi, was he waiting until this time to get on his giddy up? I don't know if that's the case, but he's going to have to do so because Ryan Hunter-Reay is trying to stalk in. Hunter-Reay's getting close to him, Nick.
It's about 3 car lengths as they make their way down to the right-hander of turn 7. Rossi in that blue and green car is first through the corner. Hunter-Reay stalks him, closes to within a car length out of turn number 8. Mark Janes, we have a battle for the lead.
Yep, no question. They're nose to tail as they exit that 9-10 complex. Couple of short straightaways here. We'll see what Rossi's able to do getting off the corner. The lead has all been gone, Anders Krohn, as they set up for turn 12.
And the key to this right now is the fact that Ryan Hunter-Reay has 6 laps less on his tires. Now he's got to be so careful not to use up all of those tires in a lap or two here. Very, very easy when you're following the car ahead of you with that dirty air, that turbulent air, to use up your tires. So I think Ryan Hunter-Reay really got to pick his battles here as they're actually going to come up to some lap traffic here in a couple of laps.
0.3 of a second the advantage as they enter turn number 3. And Jake, as Ryan Hunter-Reay, all kinds of brake smoke off the back of the car. Hunter-Reay is right there on Alexander Rossi. Jake, there's a gaggle of cars in front of him. They get to turn 6 just in front of the leaders.
And gaggle of cars, the back end of it is Ferrucci, that rookie. Now Rossi has Ryan Hunter-Reay right there on the rear wing. Ryan Hunter-Reay is able to go anywhere that Alexander Rossi goes. He may try to make the move in front of you, Nick.
Oh, he is right on that rear wing as they barrel into turn number 7. Both of those drivers tuck those steering wheels to the right. Hunter-Reay right about a half a car length behind. Now back to the left through turn number 8. They set up for the fountain. Rossi with a nice run. He'll extend it to about 2 car lengths. but Hunter Ray is there wanting to lead.
Not a primary passing zone, this portion of the racetrack, so Ryan Hunter-Reay needs to baby those tires and hold on to them.
And look at this, Alexander Rossi has used so much of his push to pass in trying to defend, down to 20 seconds, whereas Ryan Hunter-Reay still 34 to go, so this could be a battle of the push to pass with some 7 laps to go.
7 laps to go now. The advantage is 0.2 of a second. It didn't seem like that long ago. It was up to 5.7 seconds, but that lead is a distant memory now, and Rossi breaks very, very late. Goes into the runoff area, overshoots the runoff area in turn number 2, handing the lead over to Ryan Hunter-Reay. Hunter-Reay off of turn number 4, setting up for turn number 5. Might have been the move of the race right there, Jay Query.
Here comes Ryan Hunter-Reay by his lonesome, that DHL machine. It has been 42 races since he has won in the Verizon IndyCar Series. Nick Yeoman, Ryan Hunter-Reay might have just gotten the position to do it today.
Absolutely remarkable. This was the 3rd pole of Alexander Rossi's career, and in the previous 2, he had won from pole. He just doesn't make a mistake when he's up front, but Ryan Hunter-Reay put the pressure on. He's got a monster lead as that DHL Honda goes to P1.
Anders, you see the replay.
Yeah, and I know exactly what happened there. On the previous lap, Alexander Rossi locked up his left front tire, and when he got into the brake zone in turn 3, and he's got a puncture. Alexander Rossi has got a puncture all the way down to the curb. Nick Yeoman.
Yeah, the left front tire is ripping apart for Alexander Rossi. He's got that thing really slow through turn 7 and now through turn 8. The good news is there's not a lot of lap traffic, but Alexander Rossi's left front tire is flat.
Jake Query.
I think it might have happened exiting turn 6 when he realized it, because he had Jordan King to the outside of him, and instead of closing that move, that 27 machine bobbled, brake smoke came up, Jordan King got in front of him, and then all of a sudden everything went away for Alexander Rossi.
And it's just one of those things where you get so caught up in the battle that you forget about the bigger picture, and the bigger picture is this: had Alexander Rossi held on to a 2nd place finish even, he would have easily still had the championship lead, but now instead it's Will Power who's going to take over the championship lead by at least 5 points.
So Ryan Hunter-Reay, to reset with 6 laps to go, has a lead of 16 seconds over Will Power.
And there's going to be no touching Ryan Hunter-Reay at this point in time. He's been absolutely flying. The only thing he's got to be careful now of is not locking up any tires.
Let's go to pit road, Michael Young.
Complete disappointment down here in the 27 crew, guys. He got right on the radio, did Alexander Rossi, with Rob Edwards, said tires, tires, tires. So when he went into that runoff, not sure quite how he punctured it, but he knew right away he had an issue. Limped it back to pit lane, but what could have been for Alexander Rossi goes up in smoke.
Yeah, what happened there, Michael Young, is the fact that he locked up so badly on the lap prior going into turn 3, and then what happens when you get a small flat spot is every time you then hit the brake thereafter, the rotation of the wheel tends to find that same flat spot. So that's exactly what happened. Then he got down to the cord, and that's what punctured the tire there. So that one small mistake for Alexander Rossi when he was trying to fend off Ryan Hunter-Reay is now going to not just cost him a podium position, but the championship lead.
Yeah, I mean, that's huge in terms of the points implication. But boy, I tell you, as frustrated as Ryan Hunter-Reay was yesterday with that 2nd place finish, I mean, he and that team came into this race today with an outstanding strategy, and knock wood, with 4 laps to go, looks like it's going to pay off in speed.
And you know, I've rarely felt worse for a driver than I felt for Ryan Hunter-Reay at the end of the Long Beach Grand Prix, when it looked like everything that could go wrong had gone wrong for it, and it just seemed like everything he was doing, nothing of it was working. Whether he'd have a mechanical failure, contact with something, nothing would come together for him. But this is a hard-earned battle right here today, and he really, really deserves it if he is able to hang on for the last 4 laps.
I do want to give you a full field rundown. We'll do so with 4 laps remaining. Ryan Hunter-Reay is your leader over Will Power. Ed Jones is 3rd. Scott Dixon is 4th. Graham Rahal is 5th. Robert Wickens is 6th. Tony Kanaan is 7th. Charlie Kimball is 8th. Marco Andretti is 9th. Simon Pagenaud completes the top 10. Zach Veach is 11th. Max Chilton is 12th. Rossi tumbles to 13th. Mateus Lace 14th. Joseph Newgarden 15th. James Hinchcliffe 16th. Sato is 17th. Jordan King is 18th. Gabby Chavez 2 laps down in 19th. Ferrucci is 20th. 21st to Bourdais, 4 laps down. 5 laps down is Binder. The only retiree, Spencer Piggott, in 23rd position. And look at this right here on the leaderboard. 15th, 16th, 17th. Newgarden, Hinch, and Sato. That's how unforgiving Detroit has been this weekend.
Yeah, just crazy what an up-down weekend it's been for everyone, and just how difficult it's been to manage not only the red tires, but the overall balance of the race cars. As clearly this reduction in downforce has made it so much more important to focus on the mechanical balance and overall grip of these race cars, and it's caused havoc, except of course for Ryan Hunter-Reay today, who's just been on another planet. Looked like it was going to be Alexander Rossi, but in the closing stages, Ryan Hunter-Reay just unstoppable.
And how about Will Power? I mean, he comes into the month of May, 10th in points, sweeps the month, comes here leading by 2 points, loses the points lead yesterday. It looks like he's going to get it back today.
Yes, indeed. As we see a lockup up the road there ahead of Ryan Hunter-Reay, but so far no drama for Ryan Hunter-Reay, and this is really going to help his championship chances as well. I think early in the season we maybe have thought that Ryan would be fully eliminated from the championship chase, but now looking like he's going to be within 31 points of the championship lead.
Yeah, and that is huge, no doubt about it. Rossi will fall to 12 points back. Scott Dixon will be right there, 5 points back, but Will Power is going to salvage a second place finish if this holds up for Chevrolet. Kanan will finish 7th. Kimball would finish 8th if it ended right now, and Pagano is snuck into the top 10.
Yeah, and I think if you told Chevy that they would have a podium at the end of yesterday, I think they would have said, no, that's a dream. That's not coming through this weekend. So I think for them, this is going to feel like a win with Will Power here in second.
The lead is 13 seconds for Ryan Hunter-Reay. How difficult it is for a driver from a concentration standpoint when you have a lead like this with just a handful of laps?
Well, the difference is in mindset. When you're chasing someone, then that's the only thing you care about. You don't feel anything else. But now, when he's got this commanding lead, he's going to feel every little vibration, every little sound in the race car, not wanting to overstep the boundaries. So I think that's why you're seeing him just hold position behind James Hinchcliffe on the road here. He knows he doesn't need to do anything else. He's got a 13-second lead to Will Power with no pressure behind. He's just got to keep it clean.
2 laps left, Jake Query. Let's welcome the leader to turn number 6.
And that leader is Ryan Hunter-Reay. He has in front of him James Hinchcliffe. Of course, the dirty work for the most part done. Maybe you just let Nick Yeoman, James Hinchcliffe run that pace, and Hunter-Reay can be comfortable tucking right behind that 5.
Yeah, that's the good news for Hunter-Reay, is there is no challenge behind him as he makes his way through turn number 7 with a lap and a half to go. Back to the left through turn number 8 underneath the Auto Trader Bridge. It's going to be a big win for Ryan Hunter-Reay, Mark Janes, if he can hold on for another lap.
How long's he been around? 2003, his first win at Surfers Paradise. I mean, that's around a while, you know. 2003 Surfers Paradise. He's won at Milwaukee, Watkins Glen, Long Beach. He's won at New Hampshire. Won a couple of times, a few times, in fact, at Milwaukee. And Ryan Hunter-Reay proving all that he is worth here on the streets of Belle Isle. He's about to put the wraps on what has been an outstanding weekend for him. And he'll tell you, one of the toughest weekends he's had in a race car in quite some time. He is in search of win number 17 and has about 11 turns to negotiate, Jake Query. He's coming to turn number 6.
Yesterday, he saw his boss, Michael Andretti, get tied with 42 career wins all time with Scott Dixon. It has been 42 races since Ryan Hunter-Reay has gotten himself a victory in the Verizon IndyCar Series. Nick Yeoman, he's about a half a lap away from getting it here at Belle Isle.
Yeah, there is no doubt about that Ryan Hunter-Reay is way overdue for a victory. He's been close. He's had some great runs at Indianapolis. Has also had a lot of rotten luck over the last couple years. Mark Janes, Ryan Hunter-Reay, the driver of that DHL Honda, a couple corners away from breaking that winless streak and winning here in Detroit.
Been feast or famine for him, Nick. He finished 20th at Long Beach and finished 18th at the IndyCar Grand Prix at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Finished 14th at the 500, finished 5th at the 500, we should say. A couple of top 5 finishes and a second place finish at Barber. The twin checkers are out, and Ryan Hunter-Reay is going to go to victory lane here at Belle Isle, picking up a big win, and it's a good points weekend for Ryan Hunter-Reay for sure to pit road today first.
The celebration is on, and don't get me wrong, Ryan Hunter-Reay's won 16 times in the Prix IndyCar Series. This one feels like it's been a while, though. It's almost been 3 years. Michael Andretti, this is a big, big afternoon for Ryan Hunter-Reay.
Yeah, like I told you, he really wanted it bad. He drove his ass off. He just, he's 8/10 quicker than the next quickest lap in the race. He earned this one big time.
3-stop strategy pays off.
It did here, yeah. When you have the pace, it works, and we were lucky we didn't get caught in traffic, and we were able to make hay when we needed to, so he did a hell of a job.
I know you helped call the shots for the 28, but put on your owner's hat. This is a difficult day for Alexander Rossi, obviously.
Yeah, I was really disappointed in that. I wish they would have told him to just don't fight it too hard, get the points, but yeah, that was a costly one. It makes the win a little bittersweet.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
DHL boys, they deliver here in Detroit this afternoon, Mark.
Ryan Hunter-Reay will power Ed Jones at top 3. Dixon 4th. Rahal 5th. Robert Wickens, Tony Kanaan, Charlie Kimball, Marco Andretti, and Simon Pagenaud complete the top 10. We pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Advanced Auto Parts IndyCar Radio Network.
I don't know how else to say this, so I'll just say it.
What is it, Linda?
I think we should see other people.
Are you breaking up with me? On a roller coaster?
Well, we do have a lot of fun. Maybe we should stay together.
An emotional roller coaster? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much you could save by switching to Geico.
I just need a little me time.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Make your home an ADT home and help protect against break-ins, fire, and carbon monoxide. Get our lowest rate for fast response monitoring, starting at just $28.99 a month. That's about $1 a day from the most trusted name in home security. Get ADT's tested, trusted, and proven security and service, now at a great value. Don't wait. Call today. ADT. Always there. Now everywhere. Requires 36-month monitoring contract. Early termination, taxes, and install fees apply. Certain markets excluded. See terms and pricing at ADT.com.
From the streets of Belle Isle, this is the Advance Auto Parts IndyCar Radio Network.
If you're looking for classic styling, the ultimate in protection, world-class customer service, then you are looking for Henchman. Henchman Racewear is the pioneer in driver suit technology, producing custom-made racing safety apparel for some of the biggest names in open-wheel racing. Henchman, stop by their store on Gasoline Alley Road. It's just 1 mile south of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Of course, you can find everything you need online at henchmanracewear.com.
Go to IndyCarRadio.com and hear your favorite drivers from yesterday and today.
Helio Castroneves leads the final.
Twin checkered flags waiting for Rick Mears of Bakersfield.
Jr. by 90.
You never know until the last lap. That's what it came down to.
The Indy just means life to me.
This is phenomenal to win this race.
I don't know. I'm a bit speechless, to be honest.
That's awesome.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week on IndyCarRadio.com. Or download the TuneIn app to your phone or tablet and take us with you. From the Firestone broadcast booth at Belle Isle, this is the Verizon IndyCar Series.
Top 5 for Graham Rahal. Michael Young is with him.
Boy, night and day difference from yesterday to today for Graham Rahal. Obviously, the 2 wins last year. This place has always been good to you, but a good finish for you and this team.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday was all self-inflicted, so, it's on me and, just made a huge error. Otherwise, we would have certainly been on the podium. So disappointed in that still, but look, we rebounded well today. My guys did a great job. I'm really proud of the United Rentals team for the stops today. We tried the 2-stop strategy. It looked like the 3 was a little better. That yellow kind of at the very beginning threw a little kink into everybody's strategy, I think. But, overall, definitely pleased with the performance of the car today.
Well done.
Thanks.
Graham Rahal comes home 5th this afternoon.
Yep, good stuff, Graham Rahal, and a nice rebound after the issues he had yesterday, Anderson.
Yeah, it wasn't even, you just know he would have come into this weekend expecting to be atop the podium again after that dominant run last year, so good to see him back in the top 5, but he's still going to be thinking what ifs and buts had it not been yesterday.
Geico fastest lap of the race was turned in by Ryan Hunter-Reay with a time of 1:15.059. Geico 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Today first.
And here with Alexander Rossi, he's climbed out, already talking things over with Rob Edwards and company. What happened there on that corner?
Well, you got to give me more than 45 seconds to understand. We don't know.
Was there an issue with the tire? Was there a tire going down beforehand?
I honestly have no idea.
How disappointing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the 27 Rudolph Home Mortgage car was quick. I mean, we led a lot of the race. I don't have an answer for you, unfortunately, right now.
We'll see you in Texas.
Thank you.
Difficult 12th place finish today for Alexander Rossi.
Michael Young.
With Scott Dixon, a win and a 4th place finish. Hey, it's a pretty good weekend for you in the Motor City.
Yeah, it was okay. Not really sure what happened, on the first set of tires there. We just fell to pieces. I had no real grip there, but, good job by Ed there. Did a hell of a job in the number 10. It was good for NTT data. But, the PNC Bank car, once we got to the blacks, was really fast, but we just didn't have track position. So I got to say big congrats to Hunter Ray there. He came through the field and was obviously definitely fast yesterday and, snatched another one there. So, good to see him up there. But, we'll come back next week and see what we can pull off.
How about that teammate of yours? You guys had a good battle early stint of this race.
Yeah, it was really hard to get close. We just had a lot of washout and traffic there, and I think everybody was quite similar, but he did a hell of a job. It was good to see.
Congrats.
Thanks, mate.
Scott Dixon with a big weekend, a 1st and a 4th.
Ed Jones finished 3rd today. Dave, first, you've caught up with it.
Hey, let's catch up with him as the NTT data guy. Chip Ganassi, I'll give you congratulations. All of a sudden you look up, you got a podium finish here. How does this feel?
Yeah, it's great for me and great for the team. The number 10 NTT data car was awesome this whole weekend. Made steps forward every session, and just great weekend all around for the team. Scott with a win yesterday, and now for me to be up on the podium. Next race we need a 1-2.
Say this matches your best career finish. We got to get maybe one, or heck, for that matter, 2 more, right?
Yeah, exactly.
How close is this team to doing that?
We're close. We just need things to fall our way, and we've been up there consistently through the weekends. The last few haven't really shown that. We've had issues, but up there, and when things fall our way, we'll be on the top step.
You and your teammate Scott Dixon had a pretty spirited battle out there today.
Yeah, no, it's great racing with Scott. I've learned a lot from him already, and we keep trying to help each other out, and we race cleanly and trying to move forward. We want to be winning with the team, both of us, and I think we're on route to doing that.
See you next week in Texas. That's Ed Jones, 3rd here at Belle Isle. To Victory Lane and Ryan Marine.
Ryan Hunter-Ray had been stuck on 16 wins since Pocono, August of 2015. That streak comes to an end today. Ryan Hunter-Ray, welcome back to Victory Lane. How sweet is this one?
This one's awesome. Man, we really wanted this one. We wanted it so bad. And
it's a big-time celebration down here, guys, that's for sure.
I thought I was going in the water. I thought that's where I was going. But the car was just awesome. It was freaking on fire. The car was on rails, did everything I needed it to. And that's something that I'm really proud of. Just put my head down, and the pace was absolutely amazing.
Take us through that last stint. You had to run down Alexander, put a lot of pressure on him, and perhaps had a hand in him making the mistake.
Yeah, he's done a great job. I mean, the kid's blindingly fast. Future series champion. We're going to try our best to make sure that's not this year. But he's done a great job, and it was really easy to do that today. Locking brakes was really easy, especially down there going that direction. So I was stronger than him coming out of 2, and I just kept putting the pressure on.
And the Firestone tires today, Ryan, you had to have them underneath you to try and run Alexander down.
Oh, yeah, the Firestones were awesome. I mean, from the beginning of the stint to the end was the same lap time. Unbelievable.
Thank you very much. Ryan Hunter-Ray, definitely back in the championship hunt. He finished 2nd yesterday in a win here on Sunday in Detroit.
Carrying the flag for the bow tie here in Detroit. Will Power brings Chevy home to a 2nd place finish, Michael Young.
Yeah, big run for Will Power today. It's kind of like being a bobblehead, I would imagine, out here on the streets of Belle Isle. It takes its toll on you.
No, that's right. It does. The constant bumps out of the corners definitely bump your head around a bit, but yep, and drove my ass off all day, so we were really happy to be 2nd place.
I know 2nd place isn't a win, but still, considering everything that happened to you this weekend, it's pretty darn close.
It is a very good result for us, yeah. I think that's about as good as we could get there.
Well done. We'll see you in Texas.
Yeah, thank you. Yep. See you.
We'll see how Will does in Texas after that run in Indianapolis. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see him back up front there.
Final thoughts from our driver analyst, Anders Krohn, when we come back to Belle Isle.
This is NHRA Funny Car driver Courtney Force. Time to head to Advance Auto Parts for low prices and tons of free services. We offer free battery, starter, and alternator testing and free battery installation with purchase. Plus, Speed Perks members earn up to $20 in rewards. Don't miss out. Visit an Advance or participating CarQuest Auto Parts store near you today. Advance Auto Parts. Let's get you back on the road.
Firestone presents Legendary Drives. The scariest thing in sports is a left turn, taking it over 220 miles an hour. Turn 1 at the Indy 500 demands everything a tire's got, putting 2.5 G's on them for 4 seconds. Once it's over, they only have to do it 199 more times. And if Firestone tires are so dependable they can handle turn 1, they'll handle any turn you need to make. Whatever you drive, drive a Firestone, the tire that drives IndyCar legends.
From the streets of Belle Isle, this is the Advance Auto Parts IndyCar Radio Network.
If you're struggling to pay or haven't been making your student loan payments, listen carefully to this urgent alert. Have you been out of school for 10 or more years and you're still making your student loan payments? Are your student loans past due or even in default? Can't go back to school because of an old student loan problem? We can help you if you qualify. Your student loans can be taken out of default. We can stop the wage garnishments, stop the collection calls, and stop the seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and see if we can help you reduce your student loan payments. One quick 10-minute call could solve them right now. So call the Student Loan Helpline now. 877-806-0387, 877-806-0387, 877-806-0387, 877-806